Too many home fires burning and not enough trees. A line from a Pink Floyd song. Much as I think Roger Waters is a genius, this is far more complex than simply too many home fires burning and not enough trees. I would love to discuss it with you, but not now, Roger. I've got to get on with this. In the early 1700s, there was an estimated 600 million people alive on this planet. Today, it's estimated there are 7.8 billion people. By 2050, that number is estimated to go to 9.8 billion. That's an increase of 2 billion people in 30 years. So, the answer to global warming is overpopulation. It's obvious, isn't it? No. It's not. This week's video is not really supposed to offer a definitive answer to this complex debate. I'm not qualified to do that, but rather to stimulate a discussion or at least make people think outside of the box on overpopulation, as this is really not as simple as it sounds. In putting together these weekly videos, which I do every Thursday by the way, so if you hit the subscribe button, you need never miss a thing. Anyway, in putting together these videos, I often see this argument come up from all sorts of people. And what I mean by that is not just your climate denier, your climate change is somebody else's responsibility brigade, but also people who really get this and are already making serious changes to their lifestyle to reduce their personal carbon footprint. A lot of people feel this way. And when you read figures like 2 billion more people on the planet, that is an increase of over 3 times more than the actual total population on the Earth in the 18th century, based on those numbers. After all, they're just numbers, yeah? They're not real people, right? It's easy to blame the impending climate catastrophe on too many people. It's easy, it's convenient, it's detached, and it's lazy. So I kind of wanted to address this emotive subject in a practical and humane way. If you have better insight into this, and I don't mean opinions, we all have those, but true insight, I would love to hear from you and possibly even collaborate on a future video, as I think this is a truly fascinating and complex subject. So let's start with this. The richest 1% of the world's population are responsible for more than twice as much carbon pollution as the 3.9 billion people who make up the poorest half of humanity. Think about that. I'm not making this shit up. Just look it up for yourselves. But before you start thinking, well, I'm not Kim Kardashian, Jeff Bezos, or even Roger Waters, there is more. And that is the richest 10% of the world's population account for over half the emissions added to the atmosphere, which is more than twice that of the poorest half of humanity. More than twice. Get your head around that. Okay, so now you're saying, still not me. And maybe you're right, but I think you would be surprised at how much of the middle class in the developed world this 10% actually encompasses. But at the very least, this 10%, or effectively the top 20% in the developed world, are beginning to be your neighbours or people you know. The poorest half of humanity, on the other hand, are responsible for only 7% of emissions. 7%. So if you're still following me, and I hope you are, it must have occurred to you by now that this is not necessarily overpopulation that is killing the planet, but actually abuse of our first world privilege. And based on this, maybe the argument is that the more wealthy you are, the less children you should have. Discuss. I mean, really discuss. I'm playing devil's advocate here, obviously. I just put it out there not as a realistic answer, but as I think as a better answer than simply blaming the climate crisis on overpopulation. Ask yourself who you are blaming. Is it that family down the road with 3 children, 4 children, 5 children? Here comes another musical reference. Barclay James Harvest, 70s band, Child of the Universe. I didn't ask to be born and I don't ask to die. And none of us do. We are flung into this world, whether we like it or not, and everybody from the kid with a silver spoon in their mouth in the United States or anywhere in the developed world to the poorest child in Malawi or anywhere in the third world, we all deserve an equal right to life and an equal right to respect. And I know what you're probably thinking, Kid A from the developed world will be fed, he'll be watered, he'll be able to listen to Radiohead on Spotify or iTunes, or even a bloody turntable. That's another musical reference, by the way. Whereas Kid B may starve and need aid from us just to survive. And you're right, of course you're right. But there's a cause and effect here, and this situation is only getting worse for Kid B, while Kid A heats up the planet with his single-use McDonald's plastic toys, his lifts to school each morning in the SUV, his meat-based picky diet that sees around 30 to 40% of food in the developed world thrown away, whilst the planet becomes more and more inhospitable to human life, and in particular for Kid B. I told you at the top of this video that this is a complex issue. And it is, and if you have anything constructive to add, I would love to hear it, but please, no abuse. I just want people to think the real issue here is that we are abusing our first world privilege, a privilege afforded to us by our luck of birth. We have to cut down on our overconsumption, and you can help. You can stop buying bottled water. You can stop buying avocados from Chile. You can ask your kids to walk to bloody school. You can say no to single-use plastic packaging. You can cut down on the amount of meat you eat. You can stop throwing food away. And you can subscribe to this channel. You can share this video with your friends. You can like this video. And you can comment. Join the debate by commenting below. I'd love to hear what you think. Together, we can make a difference. When you run a channel like this, you challenge people. And when you challenge people, when you put people's backs up against the wall, when you hit a nerve, people do like to write to you. So I get messages and I get comments. And some of the messages, most of the message and comments are lovely, are really nice and supportive. Some are hilarious, some are just batshit crazy. So today's post is from Eileen from Beavers Quim in Essex. And Eileen says, "This guy is a weirdo." That's me. "He should sell his purple vampire costume," that's this, "and donate the money to a place without water." Come on, Eileen. That was the fourth musical reference, which was nice.